I've been thinking more about this gravitational waves Einstein thing, and it really occurred to me that, man, relativity has been around since like the 40s and 50s, and really, if this little gravitational waves discovery is all that we have to show for it, that's pretty embarrassing. Like, Einstein is held up in our culture as the smartest man that ever existed. His brain is so big. And he gave us E equals MC squared and a couple other formulas, which supposedly is the most vast, deep knowledge in the whole universe. And yet, what do we have to show for it? We're still burning black sludge that comes out of the depths of the earth to make our cars go. We have an electrical system that has these giant, cords just wasting energy all over the place, and it's all expensive. None of it's actually even cheap anymore. Nikola Tesla, invented wireless transmission of electricity 100 years ago, and here we are still just in the backwoods of technology. There's technology right now on this planet to levitate objects. It's been around for thousands of years. Just take a look at the pyramids and you'll know that humans have had this technology for a long time. Anybody who says that the slaves just rolled those blocks on logs up and created this magnificent structure that stood for thousands of years, you're joking. It does not work that way. In fact, they tried to replicate that, and the stones crushed the logs. Anyway, where I'm going with this is that there's a vast level of knowledge on this planet that does exist. It's encoded within nature, and anyone can access it at any time. But in this imperial culture, what we have as a surrogate for that is Einsteinian relativity. And we have that, which is completely at odds with the quantum universe that, we've supposedly discovered. They're building all these giant machines for billions of dollars, and it gives us what? Oh, we found a waveform. We found gravitational waves. This is a joke. It's nothing. And so after 70 years almost of Einsteinian relativity, what do these people actually have to show for it? I mean, we've got rockets, but it's not really. The Nazis invented rockets, and the Nazis, kind of a side point, NASA was started by Nazis. The supposed pinnacle of technology that we have as a culture basically was just stolen from Nazi Germany and their rocket technology and scientists. That's another point in of itself. But the point is, these people, these scientists, it's not even scientific, okay? Can you demonstrate a black hole in a laboratory? Can you replicate that experiment? Can you in any way prove that is based in reality? No, they can't. Same thing with the accretion model of the solar system. The entire standard model of cosmology, astronomy, and just the universe in general is a joke, and nobody knows anything. If they did, then they'd be able to levitate matter, they'd be able to have wireless production of electricity. We would not be striving to meet basic necessities when we have such technology, but we don't. They're keeping it from us to get a little conspiratorial, but the fact is, I've seen a UFO. I've seen tons of UFOs. My brother and I saw a UFO when I was, 8, 9 years old in broad daylight, and no one will ever be able to tell me that was something that, it's just a special type of airplane that they're flying out of a military base, and it's bullshit. This thing was holding its place, totally stationary in the sky, and then bam, gone. No acceleration, no nothing, just bam. I used to think that was an alien. Now, I don't think that was an alien. I think that was a human craft that's using electricity to modify the gravitational field around the object. And that humans, not aliens, humans have had this technology for the better part of a century. And there's a secret club that's been keeping it, hidden from everybody. And if you want to tell me that I'm crazy for thinking that, well, then you're telling my eyes that they didn't see what they saw. And you're never going to convince me of that because I know what I saw. And so if you want to believe that it's aliens, if you want to believe that it's humans manipulating gravity with electricity, then, I'll leave you to decide what's the more rational conclusion to come to. But the fact is, I saw what I saw. And I know that there's possibilities in this universe that are being hidden from us. And ultimately, Einstein was a fraud. He knew that he was a fraud. And when he was in his 70s, near the end of his life, there was a letter to some other doctor or scientist, and he basically said, you know, everybody probably thinks that I feel really great at this point in my life, but I feel more lost than ever. I'm paraphrasing with this, but he said, I am not convinced that anything I have generated will stand forever. I have no certainty that anything that I've come up with will actually last. He was not sure that relativity was even rock solid. And, well, we have all these supposed experiments in the last better part of a century since then, and, you know, they say they've confirmed Einstein's theory, but they still have nothing to show for it. So I think that's really the ultimate proof that these people are full of shit. There's so much evidence to the contrary of the standard model of physics, the standard model of cosmology. I mean, but they just press on with their bullshit and, you know, just keep suggesting that gravity is the dominant force in the universe, that everything that's happening is just gravity, and so they're so psyched on discovering these gravitational waves. Gravity is a tremendously weak force, okay? It cannot explain the grand motions of the cosmos at all, and even if it did, they still don't know what gravity is. They can't tell you in a textbook or a classroom any diagram or explanation in this model of this is why gravity works. They just say, this is how fast things fall. And that's it? How does it work? They don't know! They don't know! And, you know, I don't necessarily know either, but through the research that I've done, being intellectually honest with myself and not trying to jam the data into the theory, which is not science, but to actually look at the data and create a theory that takes into account all of it. And what I've realized is that the universe is entirely electrical in nature. The human body, I'm running on electricity right now. That's pretty cool, huh? Right? Trees are electric. Animals are electric. The universe is electric. And really the whole crime that Einstein and his followers enabled is the destruction of one concept, the ether. The ether is the medium through which electromagnetic waves, light, sound, radiation, everything travels, okay? In our modern cosmological physical understanding, there's just the waves, okay? Tell me, how can a wave move on the ocean if there's no ocean? What is a wave without the ocean? This is a pertinent question because the same thing is applying with electromagnetic waves. What is a wave without the ocean? You can't have waves without a sea. The ether is the ocean. The ether is the sea. The ether is what fills the entire universe. It's extremely dense. It's viscous. It encompasses everything. It binds us. It surrounds us. It makes the universe work together. It is the force. Yeah, right? That's why Star Wars is so cool. He's alluding to the ether, which is a real physical concept and was basically acknowledged by some of the smartest minds in the world up until Einstein. And then since then, it's been just relativity, nothing else. There is no ether, there's no non-physical existence, there's no alternate dimensions, there's no ghosts, there's no UFOs, there's nothing that cannot be proven inside of our little labs. Except for the Big Bang and black holes and, you know, accretion model of the solar system. All these things which we can't test at all, we're just going to give to you as fact because we're the scientists and we believe in science. And I'm not going to let back on this because these people are the most arrogant, hubristic, just disrespectful people in our culture who have no respect for anyone of any spiritual inclination. You know, they just throw it all into the religion bus. But then, like in the last video about gravitational waves, what do they believe? Oh, the universe exploded from nothing and then life came. That's the explanation that they're giving us and saying anybody who believes in an organic living universe is crackpot. They're just, you know, making shit up. They're mystical. They're just, you know. Meanwhile, these people, they get excited about, well, we found a waveform in our giant vacuum tunnel. All right? It's bullshit. And I'll be happy to answer any questions, provide any links for seekers who want to find out more. Or if you're just an Einsteinian robo-program droid and give me your bullshit response and I'll take it as it lays. And yeah, so that's it. Einstein was a fraud. Very smart man, but was a fraud. And his legacy is extremely destructive to our culture. And we will only evolve to our next most happy, paradisical, utopian state of being when we drop that shit and we wake up to the reality that the universe is electric. And it's conscious, and it's alive, and everything within it has a very specific intent and purpose. And it's only through asking ourselves silently in meditation and also while living our lives that we realize what that purpose is. There's two births we have: the day we're born and the day we find out why. And I hope that you find out why you were born, because it is the greatest day any human can ever live. So cheers, brothers and sisters. A cheers to the fall of the Einsteinian paradigm, and a cheers to the truth waiting beyond that veil. What is it? I guess we'll find out.